Hi, Dee. I'm Taylor
Wow.
Hill. Welcome
Howdy,
to my home.
ma'am.
Come on in.
That pretty lady is 25-year-old supermodel Taylor Hill, and today we are rating her 1936 log cabin featured on Architectural Digest.
This is my house here in Nashville. I have been living here for almost
It makes
a
total
year.
sense she lives in Nashville since she's the only 10 I see. Let's see how many cheesy pickup lines I can throw in this thing.
Cabin just here in the middle of Nashville, and I was shocked that something like this existed.
For those of you who don't know, Taylor is a full-time model. I'm not talking about Instagram or OnlyFans. I'm talking about the big leagues. Youngest ever Victoria's Secret angel, Fendi, Versace, Chanel. You might have heard of them.
Here in my living room, I was very inspired by Ralph Lauren and his home in Telluride. I drew a lot of...
So I'm very familiar with Ralph Lauren's Telluride Ranch. It's over 16,000 acres, surrounded by the snow-capped San Juan Mountains. He has a main lodge, and then teepees and guest cottages. Now, Ralph's worth about $7 billion. Taylor's worth $7 million. His budget's unlimited. She had to be a little bit more thrifty. You can't compare the two, but I will say she's done a great job given the limited resources she had to work with.
And then, of course, I have my Ralph Lauren 50-year anniversary book with a million photos, also where I got some of my inspiration from. Thanks, Ralph. Love you.
Taylor's actually modeled for Ralph Lauren as well.
Longer than I've been alive, more than 25 years. It's been in every house she's ever had growing up. And then, you know, she sold my childhood home and moved to the mountains full time. And she was like, I have nowhere to put this. And I was like, well, I have a house now. I'm a homeowner, so you can give it to me. And she just hung it on the wall. And I was like,
That's so thoughtful of my future mother-in-law.
This place. Thanks, Mom. So there is a church pew over there in the corner. That is from the Nashville flea market.
Is it just me, or does this seem to be a massive safety hazard? Taylor is a walking smoke show. Not ideal for living in a log cabin, if you ask me. Now that was a good pickup line.
It came like this. It was painted white. People use it to take off their shoes or put on their shoes. Tate, my dog here, loves to lay here.
One of the best parts about owning a log cabin is your optionality for decorating it for holidays. You could make this look like a Hallmark movie set during Christmas, patriotic during the 4th, a spooky log cabin on Halloween. You could truly transform the entire house every season if you wanted to.
I use this room kind of as a calm space. I don't have a TV in here. I have no electronics in here.
I actually read on the Architectural Digest article, Taylor bought most of her furniture from Pottery Barn, Restoration Hardware, just searching on Google, even Costco and Walmart. It just proves you don't have to buy everything from a fancy boutique. You really can buy things from all over. You never know where you'll find a great deal. One of the biggest issues I see people often make, or one of the biggest mistakes I often see people make, is they buy everything from one retailer. What you want to do is you want to piece things together from a variety of sources, curate them into a single design. That way it looks more custom and not like you're walking into a showroom for that one exact store where you bought it from.
You see in this room, and it took me forever to do it. Finding a ginormous round table that was not too modern was impossible. I bought one table, and then the next day I found the actual table.
Yeah, Taylor designed this entire house on her own. She didn't use any professional help. She said she just went with her gut instinct.
All are blueprints of this house from when it was originally built in the 40s.
The first programs to help architects save time on plans was created in the 1960s. By the 1980s, the late 1980s, they were all using AutoCAD, which is a computer program to draw plans. So if you have a set of plans that's pre-1960s, they kind of are like a piece of art.
It gets the least amount of light, so I decided to paint the whole room white. Then when I found the blueprints, I was like, I know the perfect spot for them where they're going to pop.
I feel like the hard part about furnishing a log cabin is not falling into the trap of creating a cheesy period piece reenactment home. Taylor's done a good job of balancing chic and rustic versus feeling dated. This could have easily turned into looking like Abe Lincoln's childhood preserved home.
Plates are my grandmother's. My grandma passed away when I was 5, so I never really got to meet her, and these were in my house growing up.
So this is the 3rd or 4th family heirloom Taylor's now mentioned. Family pieces can be tricky because they can often feel forced into a design. I like how she's used these as subtle complements and not focal features. You might want to keep that in mind if you have some family pieces that you're trying to work into a design.
Next, we will go into my other living room. I have two, but this is the one that we use the most, so. This is the second living room. It is massive. This is like the hangout room and probably one of the most used rooms in the house.
Most of the other rooms have been dark, so I love the amount of windows and how it overlooks what seems to be at least like an acre of land. So you've got this white ceiling, white walls, but then just sea of greenery coming through the windows to counter that starkness. I could totally envision spending an afternoon playing fetch with Taylor's dog before coming in for movie night. I'm sure Taylor could too. Taylor, if you're watching, comment below. Let me know what day and time. I will be there.
It is massive. You know, I've just got a bunch of stuff that I've kind of collected over the years from being here.
Do you see how the bar is accessible from the dining room and the family room? I like that. I also like how she's incorporated the blue from both the dining room back into the second living room. The one thing I've noticed, though, the couch seems to be a little barren. I would have incorporated maybe some white, some blue, some gray pillows, just to add a little bit of more texture or depth to the space. Other than that, great job.
Another thing is I had to take into account the fact that I had this gorgeous angel of a dog that just rips up couches.
Of course, Taylor would have a dog that could also be a model. Just throwing this out there. For any models who may be watching, Taylor and I are not officially dating yet, so for any of you who would like me to personally stop by your place to provide a complimentary design service, I would be more than happy to do so. Spaces are limited and filling up, so I recommend reaching out immediately. You're welcome.
All right, welcome to the upstairs. I love this room. I walked in here and immediately felt at home. The log walls.
Is it just me, or do you feel any log cabin built in the early 1900s must be somewhat haunted? I mean, Taylor's got great energy and a good vibe, so I'm sure they're friendly ghosts, but you can't tell me that chair by her bed doesn't rock back and forth at night unprovoked. If the ghost hunters, you know, the TV show from Discovery, if they came in this house with their radars, it would be dinging off the Richter. Just saying.
Here we have also one of my favorite little corners in the house.
Oh no. She's added 2 more chairs for 2 more ghosts. So you probably got like an old woman ghost who's knitting on the left chair, and then probably an old man ghost playing the banjo on the right chair. I wouldn't be sleeping in this room. I haven't listened to a single word she said this entire time. Okay, let's focus.
Okay, here we are. This is my closet. This whole room is dedicated to my clothes. I kind of wanted it to feel like a store, like I could come in and kind of shop in my own closet.
I love this room because it feels more like a vintage resale shop you'd find in Nashville than a typical closet. So far on Architectural Digest, we've seen closets with all the bells and whistles, built-in cabinets, pull-downs, glass doors, LED inserts, the islands. It's refreshing to see such a simple yet elegant closet for a change.
Here we are in my backyard. Come on, bub. I absolutely fell in love with the outdoor space and the garden out here.
All right, so there's a lot to consider with this house. Is it my style, my dream home? Would I want to live in a 1936 log cabin? No, but regardless of that, I got to give this a fair score. I do like the yard. I like the curb appeal. I like that it's chic rustic versus feeling dated like I mentioned. If Taylor and the dog were included, easy 10 stars. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So I'm going with 7.5 stars. Good job, Taylor. I am impressed you actually did this all on your own. Kudos to you. For the rest of you, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I will see you on the next video.